Hi guys, welcome back to Sportycast, where we're going to be looking at the NBA Finals. It's been two games so far. So the first game took place on Friday, the 6th of June, with the Oklahoma City Thunder taking on the Indiana Pacers. Obviously, with OKC being the highest seed, they have the home ground advantage. So both games so far have taken place in Oklahoma City. So the series got off to a fantastic start where the Indiana Pacers beat the Oklahoma City Thunder 111 to 110 with a game-winning shot from Tyrese Haliburton in the final seconds of the game. So how did we get there? Well, OKC led the entire game, other than the last, not even second, I think it was less than a second, which they didn't lead the game and ultimately lost because of that. But they played really well, dominated the game, I would say, but the Pacers just kept in striking distance. They kept in touch, and it was a crazy final 6 minutes, I think, where it was just so weird. Like, no matter what the Thunder did, they got opportunities to score, but the ball just didn't go in. It rimmed out, it got blocked, they missed the shot, whatever the case is, and the Pacers just kept going, kept making timely buckets, and got to a point where in the final seconds of the game, they had their star, Tyrese Haliburton, with the ball in hand. He got to his spot and took the shot, and it went in, leaving the Thunder about 0.3 seconds to try and get some sort of score. The thing is with Haliburton, he's done this all season long. He's been really good in the last 90 seconds of a game, where if he has the ball, he's, I think, 11 for 12 on opportunities to either win the game or score a bucket that ties the game at least. And we've seen it all through these playoffs. He's been really clutch against the Knicks. We saw him hit a couple of those shots, where he did the choke sign to Jalen Brunson and the Knicks. So it was no surprise, really, that with the game being so tight towards the end, that he prevailed. But the Thunder would obviously be a bit disappointed because, like I said earlier, they led the entire game until the end. So just to go through a couple of stats for Game 1, the OKC Thunder MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he had 38 points, 3 assists and 5 rebounds. So, a fantastic game from him. You can't ask much more from him. I think it's his supporting cast where he was a bit let down. So you're looking at guys like Jalen Williams, who only got 17 points, and then Chet Holmgren, who only got 6 points and played about 23 minutes. So that was something definitely to watch going into Game 2, and we'll touch on that a bit later on. Again, not much else from the Thunder to write home about. For the Pacers, no real standouts. I think everybody, the starting five, each player got into double figures. So they kind of spread the scoring quite well. Pascal Siakam, who was the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, got 19 points, 10 rebounds. Miles Turner got 15 points, 9 rebounds. Haliburton, 14 points. Andrew Nemhard, 14 points. And then Obi Toppin off the bench with 17 points. He hit a couple of, I think he hit almost 4 or 5 3-pointers off the bench, which just kept the Pacers in that striking distance. So a really exciting game to start with the series, with most NBA people saying that the series couldn't go probably more than 5 games, with the Thunder winning in 5 games. With the Pacers taking Game 1 in what you could say was a complete daylight robbery, or however you want to look at it. But it does make the series a bit more exciting because now you start thinking, can the Pacers do it? Can they hang in there again? But, it is still unlikely. And that takes us into Game 2, which the OKC Thunder just dominated from start to finish. They led every single quarter. So they went wire to wire or coast to coast. And they ended up winning 123 to 107, which means that the series is split 1 each, heading to Indiana, where there'll be 2 games before the series comes back to Oklahoma. So what happened in Game 2? I mentioned earlier that Chet Holmgren only played 23 minutes in Game 1. He played more minutes. OKC also put in another big player or center, Isaiah Hartenstein. So they went a bit bigger with their lineup in comparison to Game 1, and they were just too much for the Pacers, and the Pacers couldn't hold like they did in game one, where they stayed within striking distance, 10 to 13 points. The Pacers just couldn't do it, and the gap was as big as 20 points at some stages during the game. So again, SGA, say Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 34 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds, another phenomenal performance from him. So he's bringing his part to the Thunder, and you got more support this time, obviously, with Chet Holmgren playing more minutes. He got 15 points to add there. Jalen Williams, who is kind of seen as OKC's number 2, he got 19 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. So much more of a contribution from the role players and the supporting cast. Couple of guys also just to mention here would be Alex Caruso, who's a former Laker, former Chicago Bull, won a title with the Lakers, so he knows how to win, a seasoned veteran. He dropped 20 points off the bench, and his defense is phenomenal, keeping the Pacers quiet, especially on guys like Haliburton, making things very difficult for them. They also got a surprising contribution from Aaron Wiggins off the bench. So he played 21 minutes and scored 18 points. So a great contribution from the bench. And when OKC get that along with the standard SGA game of 30 plus, it's hard to beat them. And if you look at the Pacers, nothing too different to what they did in game one. Again, all their starters got into double figures. So you got Siakam with 15, you got Nesmith with 14, Miles Turner with 16, Haliburton 17, Nemad 11. Off the bench, couple of guys also getting into double figures like Benedict Mathurin with 14 points and TJ McConnell with 11. So if you look at it, the Pacers are going to get to about 110. That's kind of their scoring range. And if they can't keep the OKC Thunder to less than 115, 110, then the games are just not going to be competitive. So one of two things have to happen going forward. Either the Pacers have to somehow solve this, one of the best defenses in NBA history, and score more points, which I think is highly unlikely, or the Pacers have to kind of defend a bit better and just make scoring a bit harder for OKC so they can stay in these games and have a chance going into the final 2 to 3 minutes. Again, don't really see that happening. If OKC win game 3, then I think most people's predictions will come through and it will be OKC in 5. But yeah, if the Pacers can somehow find another gear, if Haliburton can get over 20 points, the more aggressive he is, the more he scores, the more he assists, I think that would serve the Pacers well. But, this defense is just phenomenal from the OKC Thunder. So, yeah, that's pretty much a wrap. Like I said earlier, the series is tied at 1 game apiece. The first game was a bit of a surprise, obviously, with Haliburton getting that dagger in the last couple of seconds of the game to win it. But the series went kind of more to script in game 2. And going forward, I think it's probably going to continue in that way, with OKC just getting further and further ahead. I'd be surprised if Indiana win another game. But hey, I want the series to go deep. So again, as I said in the previous video, I'm rooting for the Pacers, and just good basketball, man. So let us know what you think. Do you think the series is going to go 6 games, 5 games? Is it going to get to 7? Will we see Tyrese Haliburton score more than 20 points in a game? Or is it just going to be OKC steamrolling the Pacers the rest of the way? I'm Ziyaad Parker for sportycast, and we'll be back after game 4.